Hi guys. So I wanted to take a little bit of time to just create some content for you guys on how to be successful on social media. So I made a little bit of a slideshow and hopefully you guys will find value in this. And if you at all have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm always here to help. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was bringing just social media, you're bringing your social media to the front page and building momentum that lasts. So sometimes social media is tricky, but if we always keep in the forefront of our minds that social media is about give and take and engagement, those two things are going to help you be set up for success. So the first thing that I wanted to do today is just kind of help you guys get started. So I know a couple weeks ago, I had sent some information out about goal setting. So goal setting is super important. And the reason I say this is because goal setting kind of gives us a blueprint of where we want to go. So even if we don't make our goals, even, we might do half of our goals. We might just get one of our goals accomplished. But the point is to kind of come up with something that we can follow and write down and just use as a guide so that we can continue to be successful. You might crush all of your goals and that's fantastic, but I know for me, like I might maybe complete like 80% of my goals and I'm okay with that as long as I have something to look forward to and something to work on. The next thing that we want to talk about today is just consistency. Being consistent with your social media is so important. And that really comes down to just being engaging every day and posting and persistent with who you're speaking to, and then always at the end of the day to evaluate our efforts. When all said and done, really looking at the content we're producing and trying to determine, did this content, was this content beneficial? Did this content help me reach a larger audience? Did I book any clients with this content? Did I bring on any business prospects? So the first thing that you want to do is set your social media accounts up. So a lot of us, we use Facebook, but things are changing, right? People have IG, some of the younger crowd and even the older crowd, we all have TikToks. So really what it comes down to is picking the platform that you are like more comfortable with. Where do you want to post? Where do you have the most network? Or where do you feel it's valuable for you to get your name and your brand and what you're doing out into cyberspace? But the very first thing that I want you guys to do is create your accounts or set up your accounts to be a digital creator. If you're working in Facebook, you can set your account to be a digital creator, rising star, things of like that nature, so that you can really promote your page. So when you set your accounts to either a business account or a creator account, it gives you more tools to promote your page and what you're trying to get out in social media. And if you're using Facebook, and I know most of us create groups, our travel groups, some of us create other groups for network marketing, take your group, share it to your page, and pin it to the top of your page. If you are listed on Facebook as a digital creator, you can then promote your group into the Facebook community and potentially get more reach and bring more people into your group. So the big thing with social media is that people need to get to know you, they need to like you, and they need to trust you. And I think the thing that sometimes we fail to remember is that the content that we're putting out into Facebook land, other people are looking at that and they're deciding pretty much right off the bat, like, okay, what's this person about? Do I want to engage? Do I want to comment? Do I want to share this content? So always be sure what your intention is when you're posting. What are you posting? What is your intention with your post? If you are just posting like salesy ads, like just constantly posting, you might have, a really good cruise deal, or you might have a fantastic deal on, an all-inclusive resort. Try to mix it up a bit so that people just don't think you're trying to sell them something, because people really want to see engagement on social media. They want to be able to interact with the person that's posting. So it doesn't have to be all about a salesy ad. What you're really doing is creating an environment where people want to engage with you. So before you post, ask yourself, is this the content that I would want to see on my feed? Is this content that I want to respond to or share or engage with? So one of the things that I like to do when I am going to post social media is I kind of set up a schedule, and we'll go into more of that a little bit further down the road. The next thing that I want everybody to consider is who your ideal client is. Who are you trying to sell travel to? What you want to do is really figure it out. It's so important that we pick a niche in our industry because there's so many different options for us to book. Like if you've been in this for a little while, you know it can be overwhelming. I mean, we have cruises, we have Asian travel, we have Alaskan travel, we have Mexico travel, we have all these different options. Travel in the United States. Are you going to do land? Are you going to do air? So what you really want to do is narrow it down and really decide who you want to promote your travel to. Are you going to promote to families? Are you going to do like adults only, couples? Maybe with adults only, you want to do like people in their 20s that are doing spring break. What kind of travel do you really want to put out there? What kind of travel do you want to promote heavily? Do you want to do groups? Are you trying to do weddings? Do you want to do family reunions? So there's all these different kinds of travel that people do. But you definitely want to narrow it down so that you can really target that market so that you know who it is that you're marketing to. One of the things that's actually helped me, and I wanted to share this back with you guys, is that I have written down a paragraph and a narrative of my perfect client. So for me, my perfect client is really a couple going on a getaway, a destination, a honeymoon. I do tropical travel, so I really want to promote those tropical areas, the Caribbean, Mexico. But I wrote all of this down, and I wrote this down because I really wanted to see what my ideal client looked like and where my niche market is. So if you guys have time, please take a minute. You don't have to do it during the presentation, but take a minute to yourselves, give yourself like, I don't know, 30 minutes to sit down and really write down on a piece of notebook paper, a journal, or wherever you guys are documenting your, efforts, what your ideal client looks like, because this is really going to help you focus and help you figure out where you want to go with travel. So, So the next portion of this is if you are a marketer, it's the same concept. If you're a marketer, who are you trying to bring into your business and what kind of people do you want to work with? So some of us are in the PlanNet marketing, and that's okay. Some of us are just travel agents, but you can do the same concept if you're a marketer. You really want to look at who are you trying to work with? Who are you trying to bring into your business? How old are they? Are they married? Do they have children? What are their interests, hobbies? What do your prospects look like? And then again, you really just want to write all that down so that you know who you're kind of searching for when you might be posting peak posts in different groups, trying to spark interest with potential business partners. The biggest thing here is really looking at people before you start interacting with them. And I hate to say it, but if you are on Facebook and you throw an ad out or you throw a post out trying to pique the interest for PlanNet marketing because you want to build a team and people respond, look at the people that are responding. Are they in the United States? Is their profile legit? Do they have pictures of themselves on their profile? How many friends do they have? Do they have people interacting? You really want to make sure that you are collecting people in your network that are going to want to build a business and that find value in what you're posting. I'm gonna be honest, I get a lot of scammy posts. I am constantly kind of like going through who's responding to me, and just kind of looking at just through their social media, what they're about and kind of where they are, what they're doing, in terms of social media. A lot of times I get scammers, and quite frankly, I don't want to work with them. I block those people right away. If I can't determine where a person is from or what their kind of like social media goal is, like, why are you here on social media? Why are you reaching out to me? Then at that point, truthfully, I just block them, because I don't really want to even put my business in jeopardy because I might not know who I am interacting with. So those are just some of the techniques that I use to kind of figure out like who I want to bring into my world and who I want to work with. So I really suggest, if you're a marketer, you guys do the same thing. Write down a paragraph or a narrative of your perfect business partner and how you want to work with the people that you find. So I know that this sounds like a lot of work. You're like, you're asking me to write stuff down, but this is kind of some of the work that we have to put in order to reap the rewards. Trust the process and allow yourself to kind of really give yourself some time, sit down and think about who you want to market your business to, who you want to market travel to, and the direction that you want to go. So when we go into a planning phase for development, these are some of the pieces that we use to just really give ourselves direction in our business. There's so much information out there. There's so many different people giving us information and feeding us information. Sometimes it makes sense to just sit down and lay it all out, from the goals that we want to, create, to the people that we want to market to the type of travel that we want to sell, writing it down, and whatever format that you want to write it down is really going to help in the long run. Because once you do all of this and you write down your ideal client, your ideal business partner, these are the people that you want to market to. So the next question that you guys are probably asking is, how do I find these people? So people are everywhere, right? You can get them on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. There's billions of people on the internet, but the strategy here is to find the people that you want to market to, find the people you want to do business to. So where do you find them? If you're selling travel, you're going to want to sell, or you're going to want to join travel groups, agent groups. There's a lot of travel for solo travelers or people who just love travel. And the point of joining those groups is not just to necessarily post your ad or post your, greatest and latest deal. You need to interact. Interacting on social media is so important. It's extremely underrated. When I join a group, right, I will go into the group. I look for like the newest post, or I look for a post where there's a lot of activity, a lot of comments, and I try to add value to that. I look for people who, maybe write a few sentences, and I comment on their sentences. I kind of check out their profiles. I'm really prospecting. I'm not just going into these travel groups and looking at the posts. I am literally looking at the people that are responding and seeing if they fit my ideal client or my ideal business partner. And I'm providing value to the group. So if I join a travel group, I might want to post one of my own travel pictures from when I've traveled. For me, I really like the tropical, the Caribbean. I've been there a million times. So a lot of times I'll throw a pic out, like a nice sunset, or, maybe I've done a lot of stuff. So anything I've done on vacation, I will post something in the group and just try to stir conversation, and try to get to know people, because really our business is getting to know people and building relationships and networking. Even if you're not a network marketer, even if you're not with PlanNet, as a travel agent, you want people to trust you, you want people to get to know you, and you want people to learn the services you have to offer. So the best way to do that is through engagement and learning about the people that you want to service. So the other thing that I do is, once I've kind of built like a little bit of conversation with, the people in these groups, I will comment on, let me just start here. So I will comment on other agent posts just for interaction, I have no problem commenting on another agent's post. Truly, travel is like a $15 trillion industry, and there is a niche market and there is business for everybody. So I just like to kind of be supportive and, hey, great post, or hey, I love this. Where's this at? Sometimes, I see different posts and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. This is like really creative. I might take some pointers, post to add the way they're posting. But I always comment and try to build relationships with people, because even in the network marketing world, if there's an agent that might be with another host agency that's struggling and I strike up a friendship with that person, I'm going to continue that friendship, because eventually they might decide, hey, the team I'm on is not for me, let me go join Emily's team, and I've just gained a new business prospect. So no matter what, it doesn't really matter if they're an agent or not. It really comes down to interacting on social media, because the more we engage, the more engagement we give back. And like I said, it's a give and take with social media. The more you kind of put yourself out there, the more you're going to get in return. And then with Facebook, they have the algorithm that if you're just posting and not providing any social engagement, because that's truly what Facebook is for, it's for social engagement, the algorithm kind of cuts you off and doesn't let your posts go any farther. So it is really important that through engagement, through conversating with others. And I don't mean just like liking their posts. We have to go into these posts and put something of value, put 1 or 2 sentences. It doesn't have to be a lot, but those 1 or 2 sentences is going to boost your algorithm. So when I am doing engagement posts, I usually do these in the morning when I first wake up. I notch out maybe like 20 minutes out of my morning. I do get up early, but I know that in the morning, I'm going to notch out time to just jump on Facebook really quick, pull up a couple groups and start commenting, because my schedule is then at lunchtime, I might post something. But at that point, I've already kind of kickstarted my algorithm for the day and I have some engagement. So when I do post something in my group or even on my personal page, I'm going to get more interaction out of that than I would if I didn't engage at all. It's the same concept with the business partners. If you are a PlanNet marketer, one of the things that I've been taught recently is like we attract what we seek. So somebody explained it to me, like, join the networking gurus, find network marketers that are within my niche. And I have found quite a few. I've found some people that are like very, very smart. They have huge following, and I really like their content. And that's another thing, is finding people, other networkers whose content you really like to watch, because that's how we learn. We learn through engagement, we learn through observation, and we learn through watching how some of the people, these like huge guru people, are operating. They didn't get there by accident, right? Like, they are doing things that make sense in the social media world. So it's very, very important that we are actively seeking the things that we want to become. And that's with travel too. If you want to be a big agent and you want to sell all these groups, find the groups that have a ton of people. See how they're posting, see how they're engaging with their clients and their prospective clients. Like, we need to gravitate towards people that have expanded and have that big network because they are doing something right. And it's okay. It's okay to kind of duplicate that. We don't want to plagiarize, but we do want to duplicate, because and not everything that works for somebody is going to work for somebody else. But if you kind of take some of those tactics and make them our own, that's where we're going to see value in the social media. So again, with the networking, don't just post your, peaking ads into groups. Network, make friends, go to the pages where there's a lot of people, on the guru pages. Don't post your ads on those pages, but where you see comments, make a comment, make a new friend. Most of the people that are in those groups are network marketers, and they're, open for new opportunities, and they understand network marketing. So again, find like-minded people so that it helps us grow. When we find like-minded people, it will help us grow. They say that our 5 closest friends is how our lives will be in 5 years. So I have taken that and kind of been like, okay, I need to find people that I want to grow with or I want to learn from. And that's okay. Nobody gets successful on their own. We just don't. We grow and we learn and we adapt and we evolve together. So another thing that I do is when I am looking for potential networking partners is I look for people that have maybe like over 1,000 people on their friend list. And this is important because it shows that it's on some level there is some engagement. And people, they have some influence, even if it's not a lot. Try to find people with 700, 1,000 people, just to start off, get to know people, talk to people. But you really want to make sure you're finding people to talk to that have somewhat of a following, so that if they do decide to George or to join your business, they aren't kind of like stuck and thinking like, oh no, like how do I promote? I don't know anybody, this and that. So just keep an open mind. Always look for people that seem like they're engaging on social media. But I'm not saying that people with 1,000 friends aren't going to engage. I've been, I've met a lot of people that have done very well on social media. They just really needed kind of like a kickstart and like a passion. So if somebody's passionate about travel or passionate about network marketing, they can take this business anywhere. And then again, social media is all about give or take. We can't just put some people in a group and expect to win the game. I know that when we, join IntelliTravel, when we join Planet, we all create these Facebook groups. And we use a lot of promotions in the beginning to draw people into our group. But over time, if we aren't continuing to add people, our group isn't going to grow. So we have to figure out a way to market and be tactical in how we engage with others. And it is okay to ask your husband, ask your wife, ask, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever, your best friend, say, hey, Sarah, can I do you mind if I post this post on your page? Because chances are most people will be like, yeah, sure, no problem. I've let other people post on my page. I've posted on other people's pages just to try to gain traction. One of the things that I have noticed that has been working well for me recently, because the algorithm always changes, so you kind of got to be ahead of it, is I will make like a travel, I guess it's like a travel post, right? I talk about a destination. I just did one for Aruba, talked about a destination, put in like my Viator link, put in my form to fill out a form, and I forwarded it into like my community Facebook page. So where I live, we have a couple of community Facebook pages. That post has gotten like 4,000. It's just kind of like crossed the line. I was like, oh, I got a lot of reach on that. So take your travel posts, post them to your community page. Now, some people's community pages are like, oh, we don't want this or we don't want that. But again, when people get to know you on your community pages, when the admins get to know who you are through commenting and things like that, they're usually a little bit more willing to allow us to post. We don't want to post constantly every day. Some pages do have rules. When you go to post something, there's like a little rule like ticket, and you can kind of click on it and read the rules. It might say you can only post on Monday. Well, that's no problem. Just put a reminder in your calendar, which is what I do. I stick a reminder in my calendar, post on working moms on Mondays, post on moms of Boca Raton on Tuesdays. So I actually put in my calendar the days that I can post in specific groups where the groups are welcoming and will allow me to post my travel stuff and my network marketing stuff. So we also want to make sure that we're differentiating our posts. The most reaching posts and most far reaching posts are the videos, hands down. I know that for a lot of us in the beginning, it's kind of scary to put ourselves out there. I know for me, when I first jumped on Facebook and I was really trying to promote my business, I was asked to do a live video and I was like, oh my God, I was sweating. I was so nervous. I'm like, this is horrible, but that fear, just step over the fear, because on the other side of fear is the win that everybody wants to have. Once you kind of step over that hump and you get over those initial fears of like, I don't know, I just feel weird getting on social media. It's taken me some time to really put myself out there, and even to make this kind of video for you guys, and get myself out there. It's hard in the beginning, right? But the videos, hands down, are the ones that go the farthest in my feed every single time. I did start a TikTok. I've made some videos on TikTok. I've gotten a lot of views on TikTok. So, I challenge everybody to really kind of hone in and figure out and learn how to make videos. They don't have to be super professional. They don't have to be like these, huge influencers that do all these crazy videos. You can just do like a general video, and just kind of talk about a travel destination, maybe talk about your business opportunity. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but the videos are the ones that absolutely do the best. Stories too. I know Instagram and Facebook, we have stories. You can post to your story, that gets reach because people kind of just like click through the stories. But over time, exposure, people see certain things over and over. It's like 8 exposures typically lands a sale. Same concept, so many exposures over time. When you're swiping, hey, what is this? I keep seeing this thing for a cruise. Like, what's going on here? So eventually people will kind of, it clicks, and then people are like, hey, who's that person that keeps posting cruises, or who's that person on my feed that keeps posting the Caribbean or Europe trip? So people do see it. They might not interact right away, but when you're exposing people and you're consistent about it, it's basically just a waiting game. People do come around and start clicking and trying to figure out what it is that we're providing, because ultimately we are providing a service. So we want to make ourselves out to provide the service. Like, what can we do to help others? Like, how can we help you with your travel? Like, how can we make travel easy for others as a travel agent? The other thing I do every day is I wish people happy birthdays. I wish people happy birthdays that I might not have talked to in a long time, but I search in my little in Facebook, on the top right hand corner, at least if you have an Android, there's a search like magnifying glass. I'm in the magnifying glass. I type birthdays and it shows me everybody's birthday for that day. I always wish people a happy birthday. People love getting like, hey, happy birthday. I might have gone to high school with you and we don't chat that often, but I saw it was your birthday and I just wanted to say hello. And that also kind of extends my reach. Like, all I'm doing is saying, hey, happy birthday, and like doing a little emoji. But engaging with others is what has helped my Facebook gain reach and momentum. Again, just keep going into the groups and during the day, leave a couple comments here and there. You don't have to go crazy, but it's important that engagement is there, because that engagement is what fuels the momentum on the algorithm. And then I do have a daily social media schedule. I have a spreadsheet too. So if you guys are interested in seeing my spreadsheet, I can definitely send it over to you guys. A lot of times I will just I have a Google Calendar. I put everything in my Google Calendar and it alerts me on when I need to do stuff. It might not be the best way, but it's the way that's worked for me. For now, my life is very busy, but these are some of the things that I do daily. I make 1 post in my travel group a day. I'm sure you guys see those. I comment on 5 people's posts in any group, whether they're an agent or not. I do always respond to my notifications, and I comment back to people when people comment on my posts. Sometimes I don't comment all at once. I'll like comment and then go back. Oh, I got a couple comments here. So I might like leave a comment and then wait a couple hours, leave another comment. So it kind of just keeps pushing that post out farther into the feed, to keep that momentum going. And then I just have my normal everyday posts. I'm sure you guys see, I'm posting about my daughter. I'm posting about my dog. I'm posting about food. I'm posting about holidays with my families. I might share some TikToks, some funny memes. I like to engage with my audience, and it doesn't have to be business all the time. It can be light-hearted, it can be funny. I posted about wearing Crocs the other day, which I would never wear, but people got a kick out of that. So really, to differentiate the type of posts to just keep the engagement going. And then maybe once a week, I'll throw a travel post on my regular page. And usually what I do is I'll take it from my group and I'll post it into my Facebook group. So maybe once or twice a week doing a travel post. I probably every other week will post on my main page the Plan Net Marketing, like the networking. I do a lot of that posting in groups specific for network marketing, because people don't like, for some reason, network marketing. I don't know why. It's not everybody's like flavor, and that's okay. But I want to really keep my momentum up for selling travel. Because that is, I love both, but I love travel and I do love coaching and building a business. So I do love both, but I've been very selective with how I am posting and the way I post, because there is a very fine line between somebody, and this is just kind of like the way I've seen it, like people that are posting constantly, the network marketing stuff, like after a while, I kind of go blind to that. But when I see other people posting like kind of different content, but then I'm like, oh, that's, that looks cool. Where are they going? Oh, a travel poster. Oh, what are they into? Oh, they're into like health and wellness and they have vitamins. Like I actually want to remember that because I like health and wellness, but so it kind of comes down to just mixing it up and differentiating the media that is on our social media pages. And then also, I follow up with my travel leads all the time. So there is a formula for how I follow up on my travel leads. If you guys are interested, please reach out. I will give you that formula. But the biggest takeaway here when it comes to posting is post on and comment on other people's posts before you post your own content. I can't stress this enough. Kickstarting the algorithm and engaging on others posts, whether it be in your main Facebook feed, in the groups that you choose to join, that is what gets your algorithm going. So in the morning when I get up and I'm like scrolling quick and doing maybe like 20 minutes of just commenting and going through my feed, by the time noon comes around, I've got some engagement going. So when I post my post, it's going to have a further reach. And I can't stress that enough. When I don't engage and I just post, because let's face it, I get busy sometimes. I might wake up late. I might, not be feeling well. I might be slammed with work, or maybe I had to do an overnight. Maybe I'm working on schoolwork. When I don't engage, my posts don't go anywhere. So the engagement part of this prior to my own post is so important in getting that message out to my audience. I cannot stress that more. It is something that somebody told me when I first started, and I've kind of lived by that. So I have noticed a huge difference when it's just me posting versus me engaging and then I'm posting my content. So if you're a marketing rep, you should also have a daily schedule. I know that I do. I'm sending 5 messages a day about my business opportunity. You're probably like, well, where do you find these people? Well, I find these people in the groups that I sign up for. And sometimes it takes a few weeks to build momentum, but, and I never really know what post is going to go viral per se, but eventually one of my posts in one of the groups that I'm in goes viral, get a ton of engagement on it. And, I write everybody back, and sometimes people respond right away. Sometimes people don't. Well, if those people don't respond right away, then guess what? The next day I'm reaching out. Hey, did you get the opportunity? Hey, are you still interested in hearing about the opportunity? Or, hey, I've noticed that, we started the conversation. Are you still trying to hear more about the opportunity? The thing that I don't do is I don't just message people that I don't know. I don't go into groups and just pick random people and message them directly about my business opportunity. I don't like when people do that to me. I don't really feel, I've never benefited from going into a group or even onto somebody else's page and just blindly messaging somebody about my business opportunity or my travel. I have not once picked up a customer that way. I've not once picked up a business partner that way. But once I post something and somebody responds, that's kind of like the open door of like, hey, let's communicate. I want to hear your opportunity. And hey, let's face it, like sometimes I reach out to people a few times and they don't respond, and that's okay. I might try again in like a month. Hey, it's been a while since we chatted, but it is what it is. It's a nature of the business. Sometimes people think something's interesting and then they look more into it and they're like, nah, this isn't for me. And that is okay. I've learned to just disconnect from the outcome, because I never know what the outcome is. Sometimes I think, oh yeah, this person's going to sign up or this person's going to book for sure. And then they end up like not booking, booking on Expedia or whatever, or signing up with somebody else, whatever the case is. Like, I don't really put an expectation on the outcome. I just know that when I'm consistent and do the same things over and over, that's when I see results. following up on my leads daily. And then we do have, if you are a marketer, or if, you've just been in the group, that we have that agent sneak peek. That's our drip marketing campaign. So make sure you're inviting your prospects or whoever, shows interest. Be like, hey, I have this like awesome group. It's got a lot of posts about being a travel agent. That's our drip marketing campaign. So please make sure you invite whoever you want, expose them to the business if you are a marketer, or if they're just looking to, find some information, you can do it that way as well. So a lot of us are busy, right? I hear that a lot. I've heard myself say it a lot. I'm like, oh, I'm so busy. I don't have time for this. There have been times where I'm like, is this even worth it? I should just quit. Like, I don't have time for this. Like, I'm busy. I'm a mom. I'm in school for my master's degree. I'm working 50 hours a week. My daughter has Taekwondo. I'm going here. I'm going there. I never slow down. And there are days where I'm like, do I even want to do this? No, I do want to do it. And what I found is like when I push through those uncomfortable moments, I find a little bit of success. Like I might book a trip, or I might, find a business partner. So it's so easy for me to make excuses on why I'm not posting or being consistent with my travel or my business group. But if it's to the point where I'm so busy, so for instance, the last 21 weeks, I have been I've been in my master's program. The last 21 weeks were all my finance classes. They were super hard. They were very strenuating. Accounting, all these things. I'm like, it's not like really my cup of tea. So it's taken me so much longer to get through that work. But what I did was I still made time for my business. Like, even if it was one post a day, even if I'm only talking to 2 people a day, I tried to stay as active as I could on my feed without feeling overwhelmed. Because I don't want people to forget, like, hey, I'm a travel agent. And I don't want people to forget, like, hey, I'm doing network marketing. Like, I, have this awesome business and I want to share it with you. My excuses are only going to, like, I'm not going to argue for my own excuses. And I've done it so many times. But what I've found is when I push through the uncomfortable moments, when I just, take a deep breath, okay, it's going to be okay, jot down a little schedule to stay on track, really just try to keep the focus where I can. Like, I don't have to give 110% if I only have 10% to give. But if I have 10% to give, then I should be giving that 10%. So even if I'm busy, I have kind of and I know that I'm busy, I just redirect myself. I'm like, okay, what can I do to keep my page relevant? What is the easiest way to keep my travel group going? And honestly, the easiest way, if I don't want to create content, is just like post a sale. Royal Caribbean has them, right? Vacation Express. Like, I'll just quick post the ad, and maybe throw a meme out there. It might not be the best way, but I'm still putting content out in Facebook land and, trying to, post something funny on my page. But there are going to be times when I'm busy. It's just not allowing life to take over my ability to run my business, because at the end of the day, my business is my passion, because I love travel and because I love working with other people. So even though I do this as a part-time venture, it's still important. So really just kind of having those checks and balances with myself, being honest about what I can do in a day, and coming up with a schedule that has best fit my needs is the best way that I could share on how to deal with life when life gets busy. Because let's face it, we're all busy. We all have kids. If we don't have kids, we're, might be working multiple jobs. We might be taking care of a loved one or a family member. So these are the things that we just have to remember when we do get busy. It's okay to be busy, but also planning is definitely going to take away some of the stress of, how am I going to do everything, and it's okay to give 10% if that's all you have to give. So some of the content that does work on social media is, the very first thing is getting comfortable being uncomfortable, right? I didn't grow staying in my comfort zone. I've really had to expand what I'm willing to kind of do on social media and the way I engage, whether it be through live videos, like the live view videos, live feed. Yeah. Just, posting videos, doing stories, kind of like allowing people to see into my life and see what my life is about. I am a pretty private person, but I've kind of learned like balance. Like, people want to know who I am. They have to trust me if they're going to buy travel from me. You know, it's a game of trust, truly. My followers, the people that like watch the travel stuff and like look at my posts, they're like, they want to know a little bit about me before they're going to spend thousands of dollars booking a, you know, Caribbean package with me, or you know, any type of travel, because travel is a huge investment. So when my clients are kind of, they're putting their money in my hands and they're saying, I trust you, right? I trust that you're a real human being, and I trust you that you're going to do good by me and you're going to give me the best experience that you can as a travel agent. I have to put out into social media that I'm a trustworthy person, that this is my life, this is my lifestyle, this is my passion. I love travel. So I have had to kind of exit my comfort zone in order to allow people into my world a little bit, just so that they could get to know me on that level, so that they would trust that, yes, I'm legit and I'm going to provide you a really great service. The posting, like the regular text posts that we all see on Facebook, we do it all the time. I feel like it's a generational thing too. So I guess I'm considered a millennial. So the generation below me, they're all about video, they're all about live feed. But millennials and older, you know, we will look at a post, we'll look at a picture, we'll read a post to a degree. We definitely don't want to like jumble up a post with like 5 paragraphs of information. We kind of want to get that main piece of information on top, and then throw in some hashtags and maybe a link towards the bottom. Well, the link should be towards the top and the hashtag should be towards the bottom. The reason for that is when people click a hashtag, it's gonna take them right off your page. But the hashtag does help that algorithm stay in tune with you and what you're promoting. So when you do a Facebook post, don't clog it up with a bunch of information. Get the main points out, you know, like dates of travel, what it is, the supplier, put your booking link in there, and then maybe a little bit about the destination or the resort, and then at the bottom do your hashtags. You can even create your own hashtag based on your business name. Mine's Emmy Travels. I use that all the time to tag my content. So if somebody clicks it, they'll see all of my content, which is kind of cool. I clicked my own hashtag the other day. I was like, wow, this is actually, all of my content is here, like for the last 2 years. Like, I don't know, it didn't click that that's what the hashtags were doing, but that is what the hashtags are doing. So definitely, you know, make your own hashtag. That way people click it, they can see all the wonderful content that you produced and really kind of get an idea of what it is you do as an agent or a network marketer. So I did want to add some don'ts of social media, just so that we all kind of understand some of the like more cringy things on social media that really kind of turn people off. The first thing is cold messages, people you don't know. It's the same thing as like, remember our car's extended warranty and they were calling us like every day for 2 years during the pandemic? It's the same thing. When people are calling if anybody has a house line, I don't know, you know, some of these younger folks don't have those, but if you have a house line and people are calling and they're trying to sell you like random stuff and you're like, why are you calling me? You're like, you're hanging up on them like immediately. Cold messages, they're the same concept. That's why it's so important to engage and network and really get to know somebody before you start like prospecting them for your business. Don't post ad after ad. Mix up your content. Do an ad, maybe, you know, do a motivational quote, post something funny, post like, you know, why is it great to be a travel agent? And then and you guys are more than welcome, you know, check out my own Facebook group. There's a ton of groups within our team that you guys can look at, just for inspiration or to see different styles and types of posts. And everybody's different. Everybody kind of has their own go-to style, but definitely make sure that you're mixing up your content. Don't expect your group to grow without continual watering. There is a level of effort that it takes to grow a group. You know, we have to be consistent. We have to put content out there. We have to engage with others. We have to comment on others' posts. So it's not just like throw 100 people in a group and then, you know, start posting ads. We have to build content and build kind of like a structure in our group of the things that we want to show to get people engaged and keep people wanting to see what it is that we offer. And then also, this is super important. Don't forget to give the supplier credit when using their photos. You can use photo credit Royal Caribbean, photo credit Virgin Voyage, whatever supplier you're using. Same thing with videos. Make sure you're giving the original author or photographer credit for what you're using. I cannot stress this more. This is very, very important. You should always be giving your supplier credit for the photos or information. There is something called plagiarism. I know that we don't hear that often outside of like a college schoolwork, but it happens. You know, copyright, music industry plagiarism can happen. But those are just some examples. I'm not saying you're going to be sued for using supplier photos. Just make sure that when you are using that kind of stuff, you're giving that supplier credit to whatever supplier it is that you're using. And then the biggest thing here is, it hands down, is the being consistent. We have to be consistent. So again, I know I said I use my Google Calendar. I put everything in my calendar. It tells me, you know, and I've set my Google Calendar up for times of day where I know I'm probably going to have just a little bit of downtime. It doesn't have to be a lot. But it'll alert me when I need to post, where I need to post. I also have a social media calendar that I like to follow. I can send that to you guys as well. If I want to showcase a specific destination or a specific supplier, I sit down maybe monthly and I just kind of go, okay, this week I'm going to do Mexico. The second week I'm going to do Aruba. The third week I'm going to do, you know, wherever, the Dominican, just to kind of give myself some focus. And then I might pinpoint each week, maybe like 2 specific suppliers, or if I want to do, you know, like condos or something on the beach, that's kind of where I sit down and really just hone in on what I'm going to post and when. It helps me stay consistent. And then also utilizing the scheduling tool in Facebook. There are other social media platforms that also have that as well. So if anybody needs help with that feature, please let me know. I'd be happy to help you guys set that up. And then again, consistency is more important than perfection. That is like my biggest thing. I always want everything to be perfect, but sometimes I'll sit and like in trying to be perfect, it just freezes me, right? I'm froze at that point because I can't really move, because I'm like, I want this to be perfect. It has to look this specific way and this and that. And ultimately, that is kind of like one of my problems. It's not the reader's problem, because the reader isn't like nitpicking everything that I put in a post. They're just like really quick looking at the picture and seeing that basic information and deciding, do I want to follow this person? People make snap judgments like this on the internet. So as long as you're really, the photo, the little bit of information is all somebody needs to determine, hey, do I want to look further into this? But consistency is where it's at. It does not have to be perfect. So if you're like me and you struggle with that, I understand. But that perfection, that need for perfection actually will cause us to freeze. So it's like fight or flight, I guess, or no, fight or flight. I don't know if that's correct, but you don't want to get stuck. Don't get stuck trying to be perfect. It's okay. Trust me. People are just happy to see the content. And then of course, ask for help. Ask for help. If you guys are lost, you know, ask me, reach out. You know, everybody knows Julia. We have a pretty big team. It's so important. Just ask for help. No question is a bad question. And you know, reach out, you know, look, seek other people, see what other people are doing. But most importantly, make sure that you guys are having fun when you're doing it. This isn't meant to torture you. Travel shouldn't be torturous. It should be something that we're passionate about and that, you know, we love to do, and we want to share that passion with others. And, you know, really just create an experience that people wouldn't get if they book on Expedia, right? People aren't going to get like a happy travel package if they book on Expedia. And chances are, if they book on Expedia, their flights are going to be delayed or canceled. Who are they going to call? They can't call Expedia. Expedia is not answering. So, you know, sometimes it's just that like relief of like, oh man, my flights are delayed, but oh, let me call Emily really quick. She'll know what to do. And then they call me and I'm like, oh no, your flights are delayed, you know? So I kind of just act as like that support, and, you know, I either reach out to the airline or whatever needs to be done. But we are providing a service because we're passionate about travel. So if you guys have any questions, any thoughts about this video, definitely reach out to me. I'm excited to share this with you today. And as always, if there's anything that you would like to see more of, let me know. I would be happy to showcase that for you. I hope everybody has a fantastic day, and I will talk to you all soon. See ya.